only person who can use the runes is the wizard. So if I was running through as a barbarian, I would always, if I picked up a rune, I'd always throw it out so the wizard could take it. That's the other thing. I don't know if you guys noticed is that you get the individualized drops, so people can't run in and steal your drops anymore, which is really cool because you're talking to your friends, and they pick up something that you can use and you get to trade and all that stuff. So that's probably going to be a bigger part of the game than it was before. We're trying to make it much easier. Before it was a little bit of a pain to try to trade with your friends and whatnot. We're trying to, through Battle.net once again, come up with an easier way of doing these things. No comment? No, we don't have an auction system planned right now, but it has been mentioned. So, I mean, we're looking at all different kinds of things, for
it's going to help the game.
Exactly.
It's going to make the game better. We're looking at it. We're looking at all sorts of things.
It works well in WoW, doesn't it?
Thanks.
Wow, what's that? Is that
Since the outdoor locations aren't completely randomized, will you have a map about that map?
Yes.
I mean, like an overall map, so you can have a view of where in the world you are.
Yes.
Not the other two, just the map.
No, I know what you're talking about. We're going to. I don't know if we've talked about this before. There will be a map that you can access that you can kind of see the whole world. That's our plan right now, anyways. I won't talk about how that's going to be used or how it play into the game, really. But yes.
And you still use the waypoints to bring people around? Or
Yes, we're still using waypoints. The map has something to do with the waypoints. You could probably put those two things together.
This is the reason why we want to have the exteriors are fairly static in their layout but with things that can change within them. But we want you to kind of feel like the world is real. I mean, we're going to be realizing a lot of new areas of sanctuary in this game, and they have to be iconic. We're creating like pretty cool places that have a rich history that played a big part in the history of the world, and you'll get the randomization and all the exploration in the dungeons, but for the world, we want to kind of keep it.
It was kind of not only an aesthetic choice, but also a gameplay choice. If you look at Diablo 2, what we had was a completely random outdoors that was a bunch of squares. So it's like, okay, well, we could have a bunch of random squares, or we can do something that looks really cool, has just as much gameplay, and we could take squares and replace squares or rectangles or whatever in there. So we just felt that was kind of the best of both worlds. We don't really feel like we've lost anything by making that move on the outside because a bunch of different squares mixed around isn't the most fun gameplay scenarios. Plus, you're trying to figure out, okay, I'm trying to get from town A to town B. Maybe town B's over there now. It's just those points don't really add to your gameplay. So we're removing those and just emphasizing the ones that really emphasize the gameplay that we're looking for.
It's given us the ability to create some exterior environments that you've never seen before in Diablo 2. Some pretty awesome stuff.
Like GC Old Tristram, I thought that looked pretty cool in the demo. Anyone?
What was your favorite part of the demo? I'll ask the questions now. We have some favorites.
Did you guys all get to play it?
Not yet.
Oh.
We won't spoil it for you. But when you look at it, look at the exteriors, it's really cool. No, because even there, if you think about, well, you guys haven't seen it yet, but the people who have, there's really a cool shape to it, and there's some cliffs and overhangs and stuff that you really couldn't randomize that kind of thing because you end up having to have these replaceable bits that are kind of very similar. So.
Is it right that we're 1.5? The build that we're seeing now is 1.5 months old. And what you're working now.
Well, we've continued onwards, but we were working with that. We were working with that one pretty much, up until a week or two ago, because we were refining it, and obviously we want to put our best foot forward the first time people are playing it. So I wouldn't say. I mean, a lot of the assets are probably about a month old because we didn't want to continue putting new assets in and possibly break it. But in terms of the gameplay, we've been polishing it and refining it up until like the last possible minute because we wanted people to just be blown away by it when they played it. Anyone?
What's your favorite thing?
What's my favorite thing?
Not generally. About
Yeah.
Diablo.
Well, I've been working on the quests and the story, so I really like how it's integrated and into the game. I feel like we've been very successful in adding that detail without making it feel like it's detracting from the game. It's a very much an opt-in experience right now. As you're running through, you can pay attention to this stuff or not. So I mean, I really like that aspect of it because I feel very proud of it. As far as just playing it, it just is really fun. I mean, the feel of the characters. I mean, they feel really powerful. They're all very different feeling. You play one character one day, you're like, oh, this is the best. Obviously, none of the other characters could even touch this one, and then the next day you play a different character and you find a different strategy, and you're just like, we've really, I think, had some really good success with some of the spells. I mean, casting wall of zombies or frogs. I mean, just stuff you've never done before in a game to just even the basic stuff like, the wizard casting her spells, which, you've seen some of that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Is it going to be harder then for people to choose a class or a character to play, or is it?
I hope so. No. Well, I think people gravitate towards certain ones. I find myself playing the barbarian a lot, even though I like the other classes, just because that's kind of the one I always have been gravitating towards. So I think that people will probably gravitate towards one or the other to start with, and then if they're playing with their friends, they'll see how much fun the other ones are, and they might start secondary characters and try to run through different ways.
A question on economy. Will there be gambling or any other gold sinks?
Well, to have an effective economy, we have to have some sort of gold sinks. We're talking about all kinds of different stuff. Like there was ways to gamble in Diablo 2. We're probably not going to implement it that way, but we have talked about it. We don't have anything specifically written down at this point, but we know that there's a necessity for them.
Will there be a ladder? Any details on any sort of official ladder?
What's that?
I said, you can answer one. I've been answering one.
It's well, again, I mean, we're focusing on competitive play as well as cooperative, so we want to have a way to highlight player achievements and that sort of thing in the game, and that's, an obvious feature that's going to be, that we have now already, and that we're going to be taking forward into the new BattleNet, so, and expanding upon as well. So,
just because you mentioned BattleNet, any details going to be released this week on the new BattleNet anymore?
I don't think so. Not by us.
not by us. Yeah.
This might sound a bit random. There are rumors flying about that Diablo 3 is going to sort of come out on consoles. Has there been any kind of talk of that at all? Are there any talks, and are there any sort of porting stuff that you've been doing? We can say off the record.
Sure, with a camera in our face. No, we've discussed it. Out of all of our games, Diablo 3 is probably the most portable because just that style of game works really good on a console. But we really haven't made any steps in that direction at this point.
So you're quashing all rumors at the moment of any Diablo 3 consoles?
Pretty much.
Great, thank you.
You guys don't have any other questions?
Well, thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.